Hello everyone, today we'll be seeing how fast Nidoqueen can beat Pokemon Red in a solo run challenge. Let's get straight into the video. Earlier in the week, on Tuesday, we played through Pokemon Red with Nidoking on stream, and it was very frustrating to eventually get the final time, but in the end though, I did get a very good time. Good enough to be in the S tier on my tier list. Now the question is, will Nidoqueen get the same comfort too and also get in the S tier? Well, in order to see, we gotta take a look at our stats and our move pool. We have 90 HP, 82 attack, 87 defense, 75 special, and 76 speed. And just like Nidoking, we are in the medium-slow level up group, so we will be getting levels at a very decent rate in the early game. However though, something that both Nidoqueen and Nidoking have had to deal with is only having normal type moves for Brock. Nidoking had to rely on Thrash and Horn Attack, but in my opinion we get the better moveset with Nidoqueen. We start with Tackle, Scratch, Tail Whip, and Body Slam. Body Slam is just straight up an S tier move in Pokemon Red and Blue, especially with the chance of causing paralysis. Not like it matters though because Brock has full heals, but when he uses a full heal he kinda skips his turn. And then that's pretty much all we get except Poison Sting at level 14. And similarly with Nidoking, Nidoqueen gets a lot of TM coverage. We get all the usual normal type moves like Mega Punch, Horn Drill, and Body Slam and Double Edge, and we get the water moves, the ice moves, the fighting moves, the electric moves, the ground type moves but no dig, as well as Fire Blast and Surf for some reason. Oh yeah, Rock Slide too. So essentially we can just run whatever we want. And on the early routes, before I go fight Brock, I am going to fight all the bug catchers in Viridian Forest, because like I mentioned earlier, we're only going to have normal moves for Brock, and since this is Red version, his Pokemon are not only 2 levels higher compared to Yellow version, but his Geodude has Defense Curl, so we're definitely going to need a little bit of levels. By the time I finish defeating all the bug catchers in the forest and I defeat the Junior Light Years trainer, I arrive at Brock at level 12, which while for Nidoking it wasn't enough, for Nidoqueen it should be just fine because of our extra health. Brock leads off with his Geodude. I start off by using a Tail Whip to try and get it to -1 defense, and if it uses Defense Curl, I can just use another Tail Whip if it gets to +1, which does happen a couple of times, but Body Slam does not the best damage, but better than nothing, and it takes around half of my Body Slams to knock it out. I get to level 13 for the Onix, and my very first Body Slam paralyzes, and you can see he uses a turn 1 full heal, which literally skips his attack for that turn. That's one major benefit of Body Slam compared to Thrash, and whenever the Onix just uses Bide, I can just spam Tail Whip. Nidoking could not do that since it didn't have Leer on its starting set, so I had to spam Poison Sting dealing 1 damage, allowing Bide to do anywhere from 4 to 6 damage. But because of the better moveset, Nidoqueen gets a very decent Brock split. The trainers on Route 3 don't provide any problems obviously, and inside of Mount Moon we could get Water Gun and Mega Punch. I'm actually going to skip both of them. While I did have to get Mega Punch with Nidoking so I wouldn't be spamming Thrash all the time, we're not going to need it with Body Slam. And neither one of them are going to need Water Gun because we'll get access to Bubble Beam really soon. I think getting Water Gun early is only really worth it for weak Pokemon, and that's pretty much it. Or I guess if you're playing a water type that starts with Bubble or something. At the end of Mount Moon, I can pick up the Helix fossil, and as I'm leaving, I don't end up finding a Paris, which is very unfortunate because I use Paris as my cut and dig user, but fortunately I did catch a Spearow as my fly user, so I can actually just trade it away in Cerulean for a Farfetch'd for cut and fly, and just use escape ropes instead of dig. That's fine though, at least I have that as a backup strat. And also, we are in Cerulean City. This is normally the part where I ask the age-old question of, should we fight Rival 2 or Misty first? I feel like it's pretty obvious, we're going to fight Rival 2 first. His Pidgeotto is going to be a 3-shot, giving it opportunities to use Sand Attack, but thankfully, not only do I get 0 Sand Attacks, the first Body Slam actually crit, making it a 2-shot. And with the rival defeated, the Route 24 and 25 trainers don't provide any problems, although I will mention the hiker guarding the elixir, he has a Machop and a Geodude, and his Geodude is going to take multiple turns to knock out, especially since I forgot to replenish the PP of Body Slam, and I end up completely out, so I'm going to have to mainly use Scratch. But either way though, I don't have any resets on this route. I can rescue Bill from his freakish experiment, and then back in Cerulean City, we gotta go take on Misty. We are weak to water type moves, but because of our higher HP, we should have a better time against her water types. Misty leads off with Staryu. I use one Body Slam. It barely lives in red health, but I get a clutch paralysis and it wasn't able to move. Next up is the Starmie. It hits me with Bubble Beam. I hit it with Body Slam. Its next move is an X Defend, which it has a 1 in 3 chance of doing. And instead of that X Defend making it a 3-shot, I end up getting a clutch critical hit, so I end up 2-shotting it anyway, which is really good. And my reward for beating Misty is the TM for Bubble Beam. This was the reason I did not get Water Gun. We wouldn't have had it for very long anyway. I can then defeat the Innocent Bystander, get the TM for Dig, which I'm actually going to sell because 1, we can't learn it, and 2, I wasn't able to catch a Paris for Cut and Dig, so I'm going to have to use Escape Ropes. Down in Vermilion City, before I board the SS Sand, I'm going to enter the mart and buy some Super Potions and some regular Repels, and then on the boat I would normally pick up the Body Slam TM, but I won't need to do that. The only thing I pick up is the Gentleman Rare Candy right here. Rival 3 is an absolute joke. I do have to be careful of my Body Slam PP because going into the rival fight, I only have 1 Body Slam left and I already used the Elixir. However though, looking at Lieutenant Surge's team, he only has 2 moves that can hit me, Pikachu's Quick Attack and Voltorb's Sonic Boom. So I'm actually going to save my 1 Body Slam for the Voltorb and then just knock out everything else with either Scratch or Bubble Beam. Then with Surge defeated, I get myself the bike voucher, and since I don't have Escape Ropes or a Dig user, I am going to have to walk back to Cerulean City, which is a little annoying. But hey, you know what beating Surge also got me? The TM for Thunderbolt. I'm actually going to teach this move in Cerulean City while doing bag management. I'm going to teach this move in the place of Scratch. And having access to Body Slam, Thunderbolt, and Bubble Beam is going to make the Route 9 Rock Tunnel Gauntlet of Trainers very, very simple and mindless. And we can defeat all of these trainers and make our way to Celadon City. Inside of Celadon City, I go to the department store, go to the top floor, and purchase all 3 of the TMs from this girl in exchange for drinks. Ice Beam, Rock Slide, and Tri Attack. I will actually be teaching Ice Beam over Bubble Beam and Rock Slide over Tail Whip, but I did get Tri Attack just to sell for money. And before I leave, I am going to purchase a few vitamins. And today's Vitamin of the Day is 3 Carbos. Unlike Nidoking, Nidoqueen actually does need some Carbos, and because of our lower speed, in my first playthrough, I ended up underspeeding some major Alakazam threats by around 1 or 2 stage points. So yeah, I'm going to need these Carbos to help with that. There are some overworld Carbos I can get as well. With the Carbos and the TMs in hand, I can get the HM for Fly, defeat the rival in Pokemon Tower, as well as clear out the entirety of the tower. The main reason for Rock Slide being on my set is it's the only move I have that can actually one-shot the Ghastlies. If I don't one-shot the Ghastlies, they could confuse me with Confuse Ray, do some decent damage with Nightshade, or use Lick and paralyze me. None of those are really good. And then I can send the Marowak to hell by giving it a Pokédoll, and then rescue Mr. Fuji from her evil grasps. And now we have the Pokeflute. At this point, the entire Kanto region is my cloister. I could either go down to Fuchsia City, do the Safari Zone, fight Koga, I could fight Erica, or I could go to Sylph. I'm actually going to do things in an interesting order today. I will actually use the Pokeflute on the sleeping Snorlax, head on down through Cycling Road, get a rare candy along the way, and I'm going to clear out the Safari Zone. There are some useful items in here such as a Carbos and a Protein, as well as the HM for Surf. And as soon as the Safari Zone stuff is cleared out, I'm going to escape rope back to Celadon City and then go into Saffron right away. You may be wondering, are you actually going to fight Rival 5 right away? Well, no. I'm just going to come here just to get access to a couple of vitamins, as well as the TM for Earthquake. You may be wondering, why not just beat the rival while you're here? That's not going to work out too well. I only have barely 80 speed. The rival's Alakazam has over 90 speed. It's going to outspeed and completely devastate me. I'm going to need Koga's badge for the 12.5% boost to my speed stat, but getting Earthquake is going to make him far more consistent and more quick. So with access to Earthquake, Koga can be completely destroyed with Earthquake, then I can head back to Silphco and defeat Rival 5 pretty easily. The Giovanni fight right afterwards is pretty easy too. And before I take on Sabrina, which is the next gym leader, and I am actually kinda scared of her, I'm actually gonna get the TM for Mimic from Copycat Girl. I actually purchased a second Pokédoll just to get this move. Nidoking did not need this move, but Nidoqueen absolutely does. And with these moves obtained, we gotta go take on our next threatening gym leader, Sabrina. I will play an intro here because I am actually worried about her. Sabrina leads off with Kadabra. I one-shot it with Earthquake, and then the Mr. Mime is a one-shot, and then Venomoth is going to be a two-shot with Rock Slide. You may be wondering where the scary part is. It's the Alakazam. It outspeeds me by 7. It could use Reflect into Psybeam, but it just uses Psywave like an idiot. Yeah, it could theoretically be bad. After I defeat Sabrina, I'm going to fly to Palatown and surf my way down to Cinnabar Island. I am going to be fighting Fisherman Psyche along the way down. He has 3 Seeking and a Goldeen for very good XP yields. I am going to need to defeat randomly scattered, high experience trainers because I am going to need a higher level than Nidoking did for the champion. I am going to need level 61 because with all the Carbos I've been using, level 61 will allow me to outspeed the rival's Alakazam. In my first playthrough, I did not outspeed the Alakazam, and I ended up getting so many resets on the champion fight, it made me do a whole second playthrough, which is the one you're watching right now. Blaine is just Earthquake spamming, and with Blaine defeated, I can't take on Giovanni right away. I gotta go back and do Erica. If you do Erica too early, she can survive your hits and hit you with Sleep Powder, so that's the reason I delayed her until now. Okay, Giovanni time. I can just sweep with Ice Beam until I run out, and then I can just use Earthquake on the Rhydon. I actually did purchase some calcium at the department store after I beat Erica, because I am going to need to use some special moves in the league, and the ranges are pretty close. So I just buy a few extra calcium to help with that. And in my first run, I actually used rare candies here to help with the outspeed on the Alakazam, but I'm actually going to do something different. I'm going to teach Mimic in the place of Rock Slide, steal the Pidgeot's agility. Because of the good AI, it's only going to spam agility because it thinks it's a super effective move. Yeah, clearly smart AI, am I right? And then inside Victory Road, there is one final rare candy I'm going to get access to. I have a total of 9 rare candies that I ended up picking up. I'm probably going to use them at least after Lorelei, because I'm going to need to make sure I hit level 61 for the champion, otherwise I'm effectively screwed because I won't outspeed the Alakazam. And if I don't outspeed the Alakazam, because of the champion's good AI, it'll use only Reflect, Psybeam, or Psychic. And the rest of his team isn't safe from thereafter either. So if I don't outspeed it, I'm just going to have to start this whole run over again. But why don't we see how well the final 5 trainers go? Let's do this shit. I do use some rare candies to get level 55 for Lorelei. She leads off with Dewgong. I'm going to have to 2-shot with Thunderbolt, but I actually get a very clutch turn 1 rest, which is around a 50% chance. Next up is the Cloyster. It does miss a clamp, and Thunderbolt allows it to live. Man, even the calcium didn't really help there. But you know why I have Mimic as well? I actually need to steal Amnesia to one-shot the Slowbro and the Lapras. Technically, I guess Nidoking should have done that strat too, but I actually got super lucky with Nidoking by getting a clutch Super Potion on the Lapras instead of dying to Hydro Pump. So, yeah. Anyway, Hiker exists. Next up is Agatha. Honestly, it's not like Agatha is any easier. All of her ghost types don't have Levitate, and they're all one-shots with Earthquake. The Golbat though is going to be a 2-hit with Thunderbolt, but thankfully it doesn't use Confuse Ray or anything like that. Next up is the Dragon-type Elite Four member, Lance. Because of Lance's good AI, his Gyarados will try to use Hydro Pump on me, so I want to make sure I one-shot with Thunderbolt, and using those Calcium essentially helps guarantee that I will one-shot with Thunderbolt. Next up is the first Dragonair. I end up going for Ice Beam, and it barely lives in red health. You know, I got those Calciums earlier on to help with the Lance ranges, but it doesn't seem like they helped much at all. So that is very annoying. Honestly, what I should have done was mimic Agility and badge boost my special. But it's not like the Dragonairs or Dragonite can even hit me. Because of Lance's good AI, yet again, they will only spam Agility or Barrier. Yeah, very good game design. And watch this, after the Dragonite, I level up exactly to level 59, so I can use my 2 final rare candies to level 61. I wish I can say I planned this, but I actually didn't. I was actually very scared I would end up speed tying the Alakazam. But thankfully I won't be worrying about that. Let's go fight the champion and finish this very quick run. The champion leads off with Pidgeot. I'm going to go ahead and 2-shot with Thunderbolt. I use Thunderbolt just in case Pidgeot uses Mirror Move. Next up is the Alakazam. I outspeed and one-shot with Earthquake. Next up is the Rhydon. I waste some time mimicking Horn Drill when I realized, you know, I probably don't need to do this. But one benefit is I could use it on the Exeggutor because it is normally a 3-shot with Ice Beam or a 2-shot with Blizzard. I actually did get the Blizzard TM in the Cinnabar Mansion. However though, I actually forgot to teach it, and because of that, the Exeggutor gets my health way too low. It keeps putting me back to sleep, so I end up getting my very first reset in the entire run, literally killing my chances of getting an S tier performance, which for my tier list is sub 40 minutes. Going back into the second attempt, I do have Blizzard on my moveset now, which will allow the Exeggutor to be a 2-shot. And check this out, Blizzard is a 2-shot. Next up is the Gyarados. It is going to be a 1-shot with Thunderbolt. And the Charizard is going to be a 2-shot with Thunderbolt as well, and thankfully instead of using a move like Fire Blast, it just went for Rage. Anyway, run done. With a real time of 40 minutes and 34 seconds, with 1 reset, 0 blackouts at level 62, with a game time at the Hall of Fame of 2 hours and 38 minutes. Sadly, we just barely missed out on the S tier. I think even if I didn't do that screw up on the Champion's Exeggutor, I still don't think we would have gotten S tier. I think best case scenario, it would have been like a 39.55 or something. But it still does get the very topmost position in the A tier. It still did really good. Sadly, it couldn't outperform Nidoqueen or Blastoise or Victreebel or Alakazam. Funnily enough, I remember Scott's Thoughts did a versus race with these 2 Pokemon in Yellow version, and Nidoqueen ended up being slightly better. But I think in Red and Blue, Nidoking is actually going to be the better one, just because not only it has better damage output on Brock, but it also one-shots a lot more things while Nidoqueen has to 2-shot. But looking back, it might have also been a skill issue because Scott did record that video around a year or 2 ago, so I'm sure his play is definitely different. I think if they got proper playthroughs in Yellow, like with modern day strats, I do think Nidoking will be better, but I don't plan on playing those in Pokemon Yellow anytime soon. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. And be sure to follow me on my socials or support the channel through YouTube memberships. YouTube members get access to the patch files for all the Mega Evolution Pokemon we do on stream, as well as access to videos early or members only unedited videos. I've also been playing this new ROM hack, Pokemon Vanta Black, on stream. I'm doing a playthrough stream of it every Monday and Wednesday. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because next week, we're actually going to go back to Pokemon Black. We'll be playing the game with 2 electric types, Galvantula and Electros. I don't know which of these 2 will perform better. I've never really used Galvantula, but Electros is one of my top 10 favorite Pokemon. I've used it quite a fair bit. Thank God I'm not starting as a Tynamo. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.